For thousands of years in ancient Chinese beliefs, it has been thought that animals or plants could obtain human forms through years of arduous cultivation. Over the centuries, a touching legend called the Legend of the White Snake has been passed down in China, telling a soul-stirring love story between a human and a snake spirit that has moved generations of Chinese people. Long ago, in the southwestern region of China, in Mount Qingcheng, there lived a 1,000-year-old white snake named Bai Sezhen. Bai Sezhen cultivated herself into a human form, possessing an exquisite beauty. Unlike the heartless monsters depicted in tales, she was gentle and kind. 500 years earlier, Bai Sezhen was still a young white snake with shallow magical powers. One day, she was captured by a snake hunter, her life hanging by a thread. Fortunately, a kind young shepherd boy saved her. The young white snake was deeply grateful and planted a seed of gratitude in her heart, determined to repay the boy's kindness one day. Later, she met a young green snake named Zhaoqing, who became her close sister and the only family she had in the world. Together, they cultivated and aspired to become human one day, to experience the human world. Time flew by, and 500 years passed like a fleeting moment. The young white snake finally cultivated herself into a beautiful woman named Bai Sezhen, with Zhaoqing by her side. Driven by curiosity about the human world and the desire to repay her savior, they arrived in the bustling city of Hangzhou in eastern China. Hangzhou is famous for its beautiful West Lake, whose scenery is like a poem or a painting, changing with the seasons. Bai Sezhen and Zhaoqing were deeply attracted by the beauty of the human world and decided to settle down in Hangzhou. Shortly thereafter, Bai Sezhen met a scholar named Zhu Xian on the Broken Bridge by Westlake. Zhu Xian was a kind and simple young doctor. When they met, it was raining in spring. Zhu Xian gave Bai Sezhen his umbrella, leaving himself drenched in the rain. Bai Sezhen was touched by his sincerity and kindness. Using her magical powers, she discovered that Zhu Xian was the reincarnation of the young, the shepherd boy who had saved her life. To repay his kindness, Bai Sezhen decided to approach him as an ordinary woman. Zhu Xian was also attracted by Bai Sezhen's beauty and gentleness, and the two quickly fell in, loved, and decided to marry and spend their lives together. Their married life was filled with sweetness and warmth. Zhu Xian opened a pharmacy, and Bai Sezhen secretly used her powers to help him cure patients. The pharmacy thrived, and the couple respected and loved each other, living happily. However, their happiness did not last long. A monk named Fahai arrived in Hangzhou. Fahai was the reincarnation of the snake hunter, and in this life, he was a monk at Jinshan Temple. Considering himself the guardian of the human world, he believed that the existence of demons would disrupt the order of the human world. Fahai had profound attainments and a keen sense of perception, allowing him to detect unusual auras. During a chance encounter, he sensed that Bai Sezhen was a snake spirit and decided to eliminate her to maintain the peace of the human world. Fahai founded Zhu Xian and revealed Bai Sezhen's true identity. Although Zhu Xian deeply loved Bai Sezhen, he was filled with fear and uneased upon learning that she was a snake demon. Fahai took advantage of Zhu Xian's fear and persuaded him to make Bai Sezhen drank Realgar wine on the Dragon Boat Festival. The Dragon Boat Festival is one of China's most important festivals, during which people use Realgar wine to ward off evil and pray for well-being. However, Realgar wine is the archenemy of snakes. After drinking it, Bai Sezhen revealed her true form, a giant white python. This sight terrified Zhu Xian, causing him to faint. When Bai Sezhen awoke and found Zhu Xian unconscious, she was frantic with worry. To save Zhu Xian, she risked her life and traveled to Kunlun Mountains to steal the magical Lingzi grass. Kunlun Mountain, known as the abode of immortals in ancient Chinese legends, is a place of great danger, guarded by cranes and divine deer, inaccessible to ordinary people. Bai Sejun sneaked into the mountains under the cover of night and stole a Lingzi grass. However, she was soon discovered by the divine deer, and a fierce battle ensued. With her abilities, Bai Sejun managed to defeat the deer. Then the crane arrived to assist, transforming into a giant crane with even more powerful magic. As everyone knows, cranes are natural predators of snakes, putting Bai Sejun in a perilous situation. At the critical moment, the immortal Antarctic sage appeared. Bai Sejun pleaded with him, recounting her story, expressing her deep love for Zhu Xian, and explaining the necessity of her actions. Touched by her sincerity, the sage decided to give her the Lingzi grass to save her beloved. However, Fahai did not let Bai Sejun go easily. He found Zhu Xian again, imprisoned him in Jinshan Temple, and forced him to sever ties with Bai Sejun. Upon learning this, Bai Sejun, accompanied by Zhao Qing, rushed to Jinshan Temple to rescue Zhu Xian. A thrilling battle broke out. Standing by the river, Bai Sejun and Zhao Qing faced the surging waves behind them. A flash of anger crossed Bai Sejun's eyes as she began to chant ancient spells, awakening the dormant river. In an instant, the river roared like a beast awakened, with towering waves rising into the sky, forming massive water columns that charged towards Jinshan Temple. The waves crashed against the temple walls with deafening roars. Meanwhile, Fahai also cast spells, creating a protective barrier around the temple. The higher the water rose, the taller the barrier grew. Finally, a colossal wave descended upon the temple walls with a thunderous crash, breaching a massive hole and flooding the temple. Ultimately, this confrontation led to the deaths of many monks and innocent people, violating the heavenly laws. Bai Sejun was punished by the heavenly court, and Fahai took the opportunity to imprison her under the Lifeng Pagoda. Zhu Xian was left at Jinshan Temple and became a monk. After being confined in the Lifeng Pagoda, Bai Sejun gave birth to her son, named Zhu Shilin. Zhu Shilin was the reincarnation of the literary star, and he grew up to be intelligent and studious. In traditional Chinese culture, the literary star is one of the stars in the Big Dipper. It is believed to, presiding over literary fortunes and success in the imperial examinations, symbolizing literary, artistic, and academic achievements, raised by his grandmother, who told him about his mother's plight. Zhu Shilin was determined to rescue her. When Zhu Shilin grew up, he diligently studied and eventually became the top scholars in the imperial examinations. With his honor as the top scholar, he went to the Lifeng Pagoda and pleaded with the heavenly court to release his mother. His filial piety moved the heavens, and the Lifeng Pagoda finally collapsed, setting Bai Sejun free. The moment of mother and son's reunion was a mixture of tears and smiles. The love and sacrifice of Bai Sejun, the steadfast waiting of Zhu Xian, and the filial piety of Zhu Shilin ultimately triumphed over all difficulties. The family was reunited and lived happily together. This story isn't just about love. It's also about family, sacrifice, and redemption. It shows the best of human nature and conveys a timeless message. True love and family bonds are truly invincible.